The race to Qatar is almost finished. We got the last round, the grand final in Qatar, coming up on Friday, the 12th of December for both the men and the women. We've got very good start lists as you would expect for a grand final, and we're going to look at the women's race today. We're going to try to preview the athletes, the course, and we're obviously trying to figure out who will win the race and who will also win the overall world title. The start list is of course stacked. We've got the entire top 10 apart from Taylor Knibb here, and so we also have the big three favorites, Kate Wolf, Julie Deron and Lucy Charles Barclay here. Kate Wolf leading the classification 6 points ahead of Julie Deron, who comes off of a win at the T100 Dubai after comebacking after her crash in the summer. And Lucy Charles Barclay had a great season. Of course, she had that little mishap in Kona, but overall she won a lot of races, including of course the Ironman 70.3 World Championships. And so we are stacked up really nicely for this final. Other favorites include Ashley Gentle, who currently sits in fourth, Jess Lemeth, Taylor Spivey of course also. And if you look at the other side of the start list, we're going to see some more athletes that could potentially surprise us here in this race. For example, Georgia Taylor Brown, she had a great Dubai race. She's also coming fresh off a win at the Ironman 70.3 Bahrain, where she also had a great performance. Another favorite for me for a good result here is Els Visser. She's really dangerous. It's also the last race of her career, so she'll go out with a Hail Mary in my opinion. But this race is of course a bit bigger than just the one-day result. We are crowning the world champion. We still got 3 women within a run, and I would like to take a closer look at how these 3 women can actually win the overall race. The calculations are actually quite simple. In order to win this series, any athlete of those 3 just needs to win the race. Plain and simple. It's easier said than done, of course, but if Kate Wolf, Julie Deron or Lucy Charles Barclay win the race, whoever is the race winner will also be the winner of the world title. It will be a bit more complicated if they don't finish on the podium, but I think the likeliest chance is that one of these 3 women finishes the race on the top step. And so basically we've got a goal, we've got kind of the scenarios for this race figured out, and so now I would like to take a closer look at the course. We start with the swim. It's a 1-lap course, no Aussie exit, very straightforward in the Lusail Harbor, and the conditions will be not rough. We might have some slower, some lighter currents, but overall it will be a bit of a hotter one, between 23 and 26 degrees from a water temperature point of view, and from the air temperature it will be a hotter day. It might go into the 30s, but for the swim it is really important to just stay with the front group, to also make the pace and get out onto the bike in a very good position, because the bike, it is the typical Middle Eastern course. A few corners, very open, so it is relatively free for the wind. So if there is big gusts of winds, they might have a huge or not so huge influence depending on the severity of them. I think looking at the weather forecast so far, it won't be crazy like it was in France, for example, a few months before. But there will also not be no wind, so wind might be a factor. Also, weather forecasts can change, of course. And this is not as technical as Dubai. This is a fairly straightforward course. We've got 4 laps, so not as many as we've had in some of the other races, which is also good, also for counting, of course. And it's not as technical. We've got some few corners, of course, but we've got some longer straight parts, and this means that athletes can really push on. But this also means that whenever they push into a big headwind section, the draft effect will even be more intense than normally. And then they move on to the run course, and the run course is actually quite a scenic one, I guess. We're moving along the coast. We've got some light cobbles, we've got some asphalt as well, and we're running over a bridge. You can see this right here, onto some kind of a peninsula with this weird building in the distance as well. Now we can take a closer look at how the race might potentially unfold, and we'll start with the swim. The swim is a bit of a tough one to predict, because we obviously have Lucy Charles Barclay, the way best swimmer in this entire field, and she will drive the pace. The question is, can anybody and who hang onto her. And I think Jess Lehmann and Kate Wolf might be able to hang on to her alongside some other athletes. But importantly, I think Julie Deron will not finish the swim in the front group. And for her, it's all about limiting the losses, while the other two women, especially, of course, they need to kind of get into a rhythm and get the gap out as fast and as much as possible to kind of have a bit of a buffer, because we saw in Dubai already, Julie Deron is incredibly quick to just get back to the front group after being a bit behind on transition. So I think when we look at the bike course, Julie Deron will catch up, but it should be the other two people should make it as hard as possible for her. Lucy Charles-Barclay and Kate Wolf, they cannot get into a run duel with her. I wouldn't back myself against Julie Deron in a run duel. And so they should push on and make it as hard as possible for Julie to catch up to them. But I think it is almost inevitable that Julie will catch up. And then it's about who drives the pace. I think still Julie Deron is the one that profits the most from an easy bike, so the others should make this bike as hard as possible. Jess Lehmann might also try something. While she shouldn't ride, she might attack, because she knows that if she wants to win this race and even place higher in the overall, she needs to kind of get a buffer before the run, because her run just isn't fast enough this season. And that's how I kind of think this will play out. We will see the top three guys go into the run. As I said before, they will go into the run together, and then it is about having the legs, who's the best adapted to the heat. Again, it's a pretty hot one, and it will be all about who can run the fastest. And this is really, really interesting, and I would like to take a closer look at this. We've got Julie Deron here, the number one ranked runner, in my opinion, in this race, and she will back herself. So I think she also is so super dangerous when you walk onto a run course with her. And if she goes onto the run with the other two, I think she wins the race and wins the overall series. If the bike has been relatively easy, if the bike has been made really, really tough, I think actually Lucy Charles-Barclay has the biggest chance of making this race her own and winning it overall, because she's just such a complete athlete and can run after a really strong bike. And Kate Wolf, I think she almost, after the performance she had in Dubai, and with no heat training granted, but still, I think that she will not be able to win if she goes onto the run with those two women beside of her, no matter how the race panned out so far. Jess Lehmann, again, she will also be there in the mix. Ashley Jensen will also be somewhere here, but I don't think they will play a role in the podium race. They will definitely influence the further top 5, top 10. Again, like Georgia Taylor-Brown, like so many other athletes can top 10. But for me, overall, Julie Deron wins this race, wins the series, with Lucy Charles-Barclay coming second and Kate Wolf coming third. I think you can't really look past Jess Lehmann right now. She's been in great shape, so I think she will come in fourth. And everything after this is kind of really, really open to discussion, however it will pan out. But for me, Julie Deron wins this overall series. I hope you like this preview. Watch the race from start to finish. The men's race is also there, and it will be very, very exciting. I'll have the recaps of both the men's and the women's races out the next week, so very, very soon after the race, to just really try to figure out what went on in that race and analyze everything that we can. And I hope you liked this video. I'll see you very soon with the next one. Bye bye.